In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunshine this morning, and clouds go on the increase, a high of 58. Passing shower this evening, otherwise clouds and 40 and cloudy and chilly, high near 50 tomorrow. Currently, we have 40 degrees at O'Hare. Next news, coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Boy, we got a couple of doozies to pour over with Steve Moore. Real lessons in economics, and let's do that post. Hey, Steve Moore, noted economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, author of Trumponomics Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, Steve.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
I want to start with the laboratory of democracy we call California. I'm sorry.
Start with the Washington Nationals victory, right, last night.
Oh, 5-4. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Good job with that 20-year-old Juan.
All right, California, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Gray Day. Do we have Gray Davis Redux in the offing? We have PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, talking about rolling blackouts for the next decade, and Gavin Newsom, as the Associated Press reported this week, is focused on things like forbidding hotels from providing guests with little plastic shampoo bottles. It's rather remarkable, but the story of the power shortage, forthcoming power shortage in California, has been an underreported one. And since energy is one of your fortes, let's discuss.
Well, you have a lot of nerve there in the state of Illinois of poking fun at people of the state of California.
That is true.
Say that.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, you do some pretty stupid things in Illinois. Look, this is a good topic of discussion because I've been in Los Angeles now for the last 3 or 4 days, and I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. So this is my California jauntlet to figure out what's going on in this state. And, it's very interesting. I mean, I just have had meetings with people throughout the last 3 or 4 days. And, regardless of their political perspective and their ideology, everybody realizes this state is broken, that there's a complete absence of leadership. Gavin Newsom, well, he's not the worst governor in America, because I think you've got the worst governor in America, but he is an imbecile. He has no idea what he's doing, and you now have a state that, what would it be, like the 5th or 6th largest country in the world in terms of its GDP if it were a separate nation. So it's a giant and prosperous place, but it is being destroyed by liberalism. So there's just a big piece about how a massive number of middle class and wealthy people are leaving the state now because of the high taxes and the regulatory burden. And then you've got a state that is a rich place that its energy policy is like a third world country. They do. You're right. They're having rolling blackouts.
They cut power. They cut power to 750,000 customers earlier this month.
16 counties
from the south of San Fran to the Oregon border.
Yeah. So look, this is not just bad for commerce and not bad for disruption in people's lives. It is a public health hazard.
It's a safety issue.
Of course it is. I mean, think of what this means for hospitals and schools and people who can't turn around their thermostat. I mean, it's just incredible to me. Isn't this the year 2019? And we still have rolling blackouts. Now, why is it happening? The main reason is because they have these green energy policies that are prohibiting the state from using reliable sources of energy. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, when you get green energy policies, this is what you get. You get, number one, really expensive energy. By the way, the gas price here is like $5 a gallon, almost twice what we pay in Virginia. So they're paying huge amounts to fill up their tank, and then they don't have enough of it. And they have these these rolling blackouts, which would be easy to solve by using nuclear energy and using natural gas and using coal and other sources. But they have these renewable energy mandates, which make it very expensive and very unreliable. And there you have it.
And then on the other,
It's coming to a community near you. I mean, look, you've got the same stupid green energy policies in Illinois, not quite as bad, but you stay on that course, and you're going to have blackouts in Illinois.
yeah, we'll get there.
Well, they
we'll
say
get
they're
there.
doing it because they want to avert wildfires.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's all very responsible.
Low
All
humidity
to
over there.
save the environment, okay?
Yeah.
This is all to
Sacrifice the people to save the
ocean
environment. Sure, got it. No
And then
problem.
we're going to eat people. Later.
Yeah, we'll maybe have to eat the babies at some point. We're not there yet. We've got a couple months. Across on the other side of the country, the other enlightened enclave, New York, of course, is what I'm talking about. There were 25,000 people rallying against fossil fuels this past weekend, and for a fossil named Bernie. Andrew Cuomo, he's the governor there. Hilarious. He has ordered National Grid to resume natural gas hookups that were suspended after he vetoed pipeline legislation this spring. He's another one who wants to go, purge fossil fuels, zero carbon, ban shale fracking in southern New York. He already has done that before he blocked the natural gas pipeline from Pennsylvania that would have reduced energy bills. And now he's having to reverse course because he's got a problem with reliable energy being provided to New York residents.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're reaping what they sow in New York, and so it's not just Cuomo, by the way. I mean, Cuomo, yes, is a wacko when it comes to energy policy, but the entire state legislature has approved a lot of this stuff. So, for example, the Marcellus Shale, which is huge, the biggest natural gas field in the world, thanks to fracking and horizontal drilling. Now we're a massive producer of natural gas, and of course, I think 3 of the presidential candidates want to eliminate all fracking and shale oil and gas. But in any case, that Marcellus Shale has made Ohioans rich. It's made Pennsylvania rich. It's now in West Virginia, creating literally hundreds of thousands, not millions, of jobs. And it is, if you look at a map, because I have a map that shows where all the wells are. The Marcellus Shale actually goes up into upstate New York. But all of the drilling stops right when you get to the top of the Pennsylvania-New York border. And so all of the wells are literally right on the Pennsylvania-New York border on the Pennsylvania side. And what they do in Pennsylvania is they go down, and horizontally they go underneath New York, and they're taking out their natural gas, which is depriving, so they're essentially depriving upstate New York, which is a very depressed economic area, of the jobs and the income and the GDP that they would get from, and the energy, of course. And then they won't allow pipelines into the state. So, they have to, the Northeast has to rely on Russia to get natural gas.
Yeah, New England and New York.
Pennsylvania and New York. Yep. I mean, can you believe that?
And it's safer to have a pipeline, isn't it? You've mentioned that before.
I mean,
You've mentioned before that it's safer to have pipelines than any other way to transport.
Of course it is. I mean, what would be a safer way to get? That's such an obvious point, and you're exactly right. I mean, pipelines are very safe and efficient and cheap ways to transport, oil and gas. And so instead, because they won't allow pipelines, they have to use rail and they have to use trucks. And the trucks turn over, and then you have these, oftentimes these horrible accidents. And so that's terrible for the environment, right? When you have these accidents where the rail car derails, or you get a truck that smashes into something. I mean, this is just so diabolical that they're allowing this to happen, and they have high energy prices. But the point I'm trying to make you guys is, Illinois is not far behind.
No, we concede.
The same crazy policies.
No, I know, but we like it too. Just like California, New York, we love it. We love the direction we're going in. It's very good.
Illinois is a state that has a lot of coal.
Yeah.
And now I'm reading
we don't like coal.
They're preventing coal production in Illinois.
No, yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
No, we got to get. Yeah, well, we got to get the rest of the people who live in Southern Illinois out of here and to Kentucky and Missouri and other neighboring states.
Well,
they're really a nuisance.
Well, as you know, the good news for you all is that they are leaving. I mean, how many times have we had this discussion when a state isn't doing very well when you have a net out migration from Illinois to West Virginia? I mean, come on.
Yes,
that's not a good sign.
Well, on that point, interesting piece in The Hill by a libertarian writer who very much echoes the research you and your friend Art Laffer have done for years, the Rich States, Poor States reports you guys do about the future actually being in red states. And one of the things that she does, which I like to make this accessible to people, is just compare.
Who did this?
Her
Who's this?
her name is Kristen Tate. She's a libertarian writer for Young Americans for Liberty.
Yeah.
So here's an example she gives. Just want you to comment on it because her argument is red states are the future. I mean, the outmigration says so, but here's the reason. Because people look at the top line nominal figures and they don't look at the real impact. They don't connect dots very well. She does it for you. New Yorkers, for example, they take in an average, after taxes, take in an average $60,000. Texans take home $46,000 after taxes. However, she goes through the cost of a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan versus Austin. And when you minus the taxes and housing, your take-home pay in Austin is actually about 20% higher than it is in Manhattan. When you go to the cost of goods, the cost of living, how much purchasing power you have. Of course, Texas wins even further. The actual value of your $99 that you spend on goods brings you $100 worth of goods in Austin compared to $82 worth of goods in Manhattan. And you go through the states that are heavily regulated and heavy taxed, Illinois, California, you get the same story. But I just like the example she gives because it helps to make people understand not only that the data that you and Laffer have been providing for years is real and that the migration patterns are real, but the reason for them. People are not just going to Florida or California or the Southwest for the weather. They're going because they understand they have a better life at a lower price point in these places.
Look, I am right now staying at a hotel in Beverly Hills, California. I mean, this is a slice of heaven, right? I mean, there's no but. What's your temperature going to be there today?
50.
Low 50s, and the winter's around the corner. I mean, it's 75 degrees here. Beautiful day, and not a cloud in the sky. And my point is, this is like the most idyllic place in the world to live, and yet people are leaving. You got to really make people. You got to try to make people leave Beverly Hills. But California, in the last 10 years, has lost 1 million people to other states. In other words, 1 million more people have moved out of California than moved into California, despite the fact that they have the best weather in the world, practically. I mean, it is amazing how liberalism is destroying places. And I'm writing a book right now with Laffer, called "Who Needs New Jersey?" Maybe you should call it "Who Needs Illinois?"
Yes,
about
that could be a series.
But the big story of the United States is that people are moving away from liberalism, whether it's Connecticut, whether it's whether it's New York, whether it's California, whether it's New Jersey, and they're moving to these red states, and it's happening day after day after day. And look, Illinois, California, New York, New Jersey are either going to change or you're going to keep dying a slow death. And I don't say that with joy. I mean, and by the way, now we want to elect a president who wants to make America look more like Illinois and New York and less like Texas and Florida and Tennessee. I mean, it's craziness.
He is Steve Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, author of the book Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. Steve, thanks as always.
Okay, guys, have a great week. Go
you
Nats.
too. Yep, go. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350350.
But